The turning point in Tagore's artistic perception came about in 1921. He had a lively imagination, undoubtedly, and because of his eminence and his friendship with many important cultural leaders, he had a good knowledge of German culture and modernism, and most of all, of Bauhaus at Weimar, where the primitivism espoused by the German expressionists resonated with him. Tagore considered his art to be created by one who had untrained mind and untutored fingers. Though he had limitation in representing the visible reality, but his watercolors showed his artistry, a strong sense of formal design, and a capacity to remove inessential details. Tagore consciously espoused his self-taught automatic style as a recapitulation of his childhood days. He says, lying on the bed facing the wall, he would watch the faint play of light creating interesting patterns on the peeled wall plaster, and he would fall asleep, inventing weird images. Tagore literally had to regress to his childhood in order to create a fantasy art. And Freud also had written somewhere that he had made a connection between child's play and daydreaming with creative imagination. Tagore not only insisted on the childlike quality of his paintings, but he also added two more, namely unpredictability and dreamlike imagery. So much so, ambiguity, randomness, unpredictability, indeterminacy, and a sense of in-between powered his works with enigma. Also, Tagore insisted on creating works that had areas of darkness, areas of mystery, areas which were also very dramatic, and his composition in that respect always carried a sense of remoteness and a sense of mystery. Nevertheless, the images that he dredged out from deep within his psyche, namely those of primitive masks, deformed monsters, or erotic encounters, that somberly and their somberly mood linked with alienation made him a modernist. Namely, the alienation, the anxiety, the fragmentation, and displacement. In Indian art, the two elements of randomness and unpredictability were somehow absent in academic art as well as in the national allegories of the Bengal school. Tagore's poetry, Tagore's mimetic poetry, as a matter of fact, had no concern for displacement or fragmentation. As the 20s neared, his age, health concerns, a sense of loss, displacement were beginning to worry him. And by 1930s, he was almost made into a national monument. The younger modern poets like Vishnu De and many others who preferred fragmentation and alienation as part of their poetry were not much impressed by the Olympian prose nor the emotional charged poetry of Tagore, and they began to ignore him quietly. Tagore's expressionist art rejected the narrow focus of authenticity espoused by the Bengal school, and he believed in the free cultural borrowings as inevitable of the new developed global modernity. Though he had limitations of artistic language as well as the skills, within those limitations, Tagore created a very personalized form of art that was equally disturbing and equally powerful.